Hey, what's up, guys? This video is specifically for the youngins. I know some of you guys are super young that follow this channel because it's a family channel, and we have some young folks in our reels that help collaborate with, sort of content around faith and family and some cool stuff like that. A lot of you have seen our shorts and reels on Instagram, and because there's a young population that collaborates with us, a lot of you have jumped over here to our page. So pumped to share with you now how to make money for teens. Some of you in between 13 and 16 years old are watching this now. And I also want to just open up the door to say, hey, send this to a 13 to a 16-year-old, someone in high school that is trying to figure out how to make more income. We all know money can be problematic at times because everything is super expensive. Specifically, if you live in the United States, it's crazy expensive out there right now. That was another piece of the reason we moved to Colombia, to focus more on family while having more margin financially, which has been incredible. I know everybody can't just up and move to another country, but I have some amazing insights and tips that I want to give to the next generation right now. For this video, I'm going to share with you guys 3 ways to make money as a teenager that is extremely helpful, that will absolutely take you to another level financially if you do these things and execute them well. And also, if you stick around the whole video, I'll share some of the amazing tips that I had, to give whenever I was a young 12-year-old to make money from my 12-year-old perspective. So stick around this whole video. I'm telling you, it's going to be helpful and valuable to each and every one of you. Now, if you live in the United States, a lot of you understand that when you go to a school, a lot of schools don't even allow you to work. There's so many different labor laws, and even the government itself may prohibit you from working or working a certain amount. Totally get it. And some of you, specifically in the state of Oklahoma, some New York, and some other major states, which all states are major, they all got their thing going on. You have to go to the school, ask for a paper to get signed off on in order for you to work. So I just encourage you guys to go and do that. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever that paperwork looks like, you can ask a parent, you can ask an adult, a teacher at school. But another thing I would love to share, you're allowed to work around 40 hours, I think, in the Oklahoma, and also 8 hours a day. You can't work no overtime. You're not an adult yet, so that makes total sense because you're still a student. Another thing that really helped me when I was younger, and I'll just share a little tidbit about this, is I struggled with having a real job. Some of you right now are thinking, like, why would I even try to go out and get a job? Because if I go and find something that I actually may like, what if other people have opinions about where I'm working? For instance, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A wasn't a big deal back whenever I was in high school, or else I would have worked there because it seems like the most perfect place. All the kids are waving at you when you're coming up. They have this big smile on their face. The culture is just amazing, and they have a servant heart. And I would love to work in a place like that now. But for me, I would be too embarrassed for, back when I was a 12-year-old, I would be too embarrassed for people to come by like McDonald's or Taco Bell and see me working in there. But I want to give you guys this wisdom and advice. At the end of the day, you have a job. Do not get mad at someone who makes fun of you for having a job when they're probably at home just chilling, playing Fortnite and broke. Listen, be excited for whatever job, wherever place God leads you. Do it unto His glory. Like, live your life for Him, and also enjoy the people that God has before you, no matter what kind of job it is. Even if you're helping your dad who's a plumber and you're wearing the plumber outfit, like, I don't know what situation you may be in. Listen, you got a job, enjoy it. Who cares what they think? Okay, so first thing is first, we got to get out the opinions of other people. Get out there and hustle, work hard, be faithful where you're working, and put away the phone. When you're called to be somewhere to work, show up with joy, show up with laughter, show up with a sense of humility and just seriousness about the job that you're doing. Because at the end of the day, the person who hired you has entrusted you to do your job and do it well in an honorable way. So I would say that the idea of working at McDonald's, and again, that was the big thing back in the day. Like, don't be caught working at McDonald's. Don't be caught working at these other places, Walmart and so and so. But the second thing that I would share outside of like more of the opinions of people is number two is amusement parks like Six Flags. You know, I know a lot of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds that I've worked at places that are more for entertainment purposes versus like restaurant area, like sector of business. And I think that it's incredible because, you know, just understand that you're serving families at this point. You're serving people who are coming from all different walks of life that you literally have influence over when they walk in that museum, when they walk into that sort of aquarium that you're working at, or some of these places. You ought to see it as an extreme gift because people are looking and searching for something that will satisfy their hearts and entertain them and bring them life. And you can be the impersonation, the imprint of what actually they are actually looking for. You could be Jesus to them. You can bring them what they're really looking for. And I just think it's the coolest way for you as a young kid to step in and be kind and be loving and be, you know, someone who serves really well in environments like that, because oftentimes they're just trying to numb pain. People that go to places that want entertainment, they could be in the best state of their life. I love it. But some of them are in a low point and they're trying to go any and everywhere to fill a void in their life, and you could be the one working and doing amazing things to help them as a person, as the face of that brand, the face of that museum, the face of that amusement park, which I think is amazing. Even when the job starts to get boring, I want to throw this in there as well. When your job starts to get boring, just understand you have to have a job. Like, I feel like every kid should go through an experience of working. And don't quit. You're not called to be in a place where you're excited every single day. Sometimes things are going to be boring. Find something to do to help you be proactive in the boringness, to help you continue to grow and develop during the moments of boringness. You know, what did you read last night? Did you read the Bible? Did you read another book that can inform you and give you wisdom for the next season of your life? Always have a vision. Journal, like during your day. Share some of the things that you're learning during those boring moments. Like, find ways to apply some of those things that you feel like are just dull moments. Find a way to make them colorful. Write about it. I'm telling you, you're going to look back and be like, wow, this has really helped me, but it's also helped so many others through my experience in this season of boring. Okay? The next thing I would say is number three, entrepreneurship. And I know a lot of guys, you're like, I can't work at McDonald's, it's minimum wage. And quite frankly, when you're that young, you're not going to make a ton of money. But the important thing is that you're working. But these jobs oftentimes are not always about the money. They come with their own perks. Sometimes you'll have free meals. Sometimes you'll be able to drink for free if it's some type of restaurant, like you work at Coca-Cola factory or even at a movie theater. Sometimes you get one meal. But another thing, you also get discounts to the very thing you're working at. Go work somewhere that you absolutely love and have a passion about, where you can even get discounts for yourself, your family members, and friends. That's a cool way to really incentivize your tribe, the people that you're doing life with, and even be a blessing to others, even though you don't make a lot of money. So keep that in mind. Number three, and I just reverted back to this because I wanted to add that in, but it's entrepreneurship. Some of you guys are just entrepreneurs. You can sell a necklace to a jewelry man or a car to a dealer. You know, like you're the man when it comes to selling stuff. I remember back in the day, I would sell everything from candy to soda to even homework services, where I would help people with their homework. But I highly encourage you not to do their homework for them, even though I paid people back in the day to do some of my homework. I can't get into too much detail about that. But needless to say, there's so many different ways and perks on finding what you're good at and then offering it as a service to help others. And I think what's encouraging about this is that I remember doing a paper, and I got paid like $60, and I thought that was so much money at that time, because back in the day, $60 was a lot of money. And I remember also, selling, all these different pieces of candy from Dollar General, and I would pack my bag up and go to school and sell it to different football players in my circles that I ran in, and then their circles would tell, hey, that kid got these. And then you can make a lot of money that way, which was really cool. I don't know what your school says about doing things like that, but you just got to be careful, because not all schools allow you to do things like that. But also, I remember having like the best Jordans back in the day, the best shoes, some of the best clothes, because I jumped into some of those opportunities. But it was short-lived. We had other kids doing a lot better than me at some of those things. Also, the way I would spend money was really bad. Like, I would spend everything right when I got it. And I did that for many years, all the way through high school and some of college. Well, a lot in the college as well. So you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. It's so important. Not all schools, again, will allow you to sell candy. But when you are allowed and you have that privilege, when you get the actual money, find a way to be an incentive to your school. Not make everything about consuming and everything about yourself, but how can you give that money to help other children in need at your school that may not have lunch? Find ways to highlight some of those stories. Share with your teacher, like, hey, I did this. I was able to, sell a couple of these things, buy lunch for 3 kids this week, and then share the story with your teacher. Share it with your principal. Can you imagine how they will look out? You could not just be a suck up, someone that, hey, I just won an award or something, but you could be recognized, and that can be huge, and you can use that on your resumes later. There's so many different things that you can do that's really incredible. The next thing is, after that, doing homework for people. We talked about that a little bit. But look at your friends and see how they're spending their money too. Those who are doing like lemonade stands, or maybe they have some cool little shop online where they're selling t-shirts. They're an influencer on YouTube or Instagram. Find some different people that you can look up to that are doing things that you want to do on the next level, and I'm telling you, it'll be a game changer. Example, I can give you my Netflix account for cash. That's another thing that I know a lot of kids were doing here recently. Some kids couldn't necessarily afford Netflix, so they would actually give 3 or 4 of their friends access to their Netflix, and their friends would pay them. It wasn't a ton, but it added up, where they were making triple off what their Netflix account actually cost. And then they would open up a new Netflix and do it for other kids. And it was almost like a little Netflix community. Like, that's some wild stuff, but it's really cool. And I also seen kids with some cool sneakers on. Like, they would buy Yeezys because of how well they're doing business, back in Oklahoma City, just within what they do. So you can do a lot of awesome stuff. I'm not promoting like go and buy materialistic things, but I'm saying I've seen kids get really successful out of their high school, out of mowing grass and really finding and building up their client list like months and months in advance before even summer got there, to really help and serve their community well. There's so much you can do. It's endless opportunity, guys. And people want to support younger generation kids that are after it, wanting to serve and lay their life down. The next thing I would say is what I did. I want to share with you this so I can lay this all down and we can move on to the next video here soon that I want to invest into you, the next generation. But check this out. I distributed a whole bunch of different things. I would bring papers, pencils, pens. I would sell pens. I remember alongside the candy and different snacks, but I started with pencils and pens, things that people would need in the school, and I would sell it for a really low price, and I would do the math, and then they would come right back to me, and then I would invest in something else. Like, I even got to a point where I was doing Texas, big Texas calculators, or Texas Instrument calculators. I was doing all kind of stuff just to make a return, but I noticed they weren't going as fast like some of the school materials, but things that would go fast was like sodas or candy, And I know when I made that switch, like blow pops, we had so many different things. Those things sold like every day. Every day. People were on it. And it was really crazy. But the second thing that I did was I worked at Taco Bell, and I would work and people would sometimes just throw me a tip. $60. I remember the biggest tip I ever got was about $60. The most I made on average in a day typically off tips, and I'm talking at Taco Bell in the mall. Like, and I was super embarrassed for people to come in and see me. But what I did love about it, what was the biggest reward to the risk that I was taking by being seen by classmates, knowing I was the football star who was like prideful. I would love when people would just throw me an extra $3 or $7. That was a lot to me, and it would add up. And by the end of the day, I typically would make about 30 to 32 bucks. No, 20. No, it was about 20 to 30 bucks actually. But the most I ever gotten off of one person giving me money was about $60. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Because I was like, I wish that happened every day. But it was an older guy who recognized me as an athlete and just seen that I was working hard, and he just threw me. And that was a lot of money for me back then, right? But the next thing I would say is I would also sell my lunch. Like, I would either go out and eat with the seniors and come back, and typically that lunch was provided for or paid for. Then I would come back to the school and I would swipe my card for someone else to eat lunch, and they would actually pay me because they wanted extra of whatever it was that they ate for lunch that day, but at a portion of the price. Or even some of the kids that already had money and they brought their food, but they wanted the lunch there. And then I would just gain a tribe of people who just love to eat, and they just wanted to say, hey bro, are you eating your lunch today? Or I would buy cookies from the cookie stand and sell those as well. Really wild. But fast forward today, guys, I think some of the practical things that when you're living in this generation is totally different from when I was young. You need to be finding ways to help people with their resumes through ChatGPT. You can find ways to even write some type of letter or note for someone in need that they don't necessarily have the knowledge of ChatGPT, but I want you to go check that website out, because there you can literally give a bot instructions to what you need, and that AI software will give you anything that you actually need. It will help you break down everything from resumes to documents. You can write an ebook. I mean, I'm saying there's so much you can do nowadays, even at your young age. Literally, it will spit it out for you. Now, I'm not endorsing, don't do the hard work, don't really invest time into what is needed to make things really great and productive and authentic. Most importantly, I'm saying that you have a tool at hand that literally is like the reflection of Google, but it's personalized just for you. It gives you information, not real-time data, but it gives you information that you can't get as quickly, even because it will take you so much more time searching on Google for something specific as how many people are currently living in Medellin, Colombia in 2024. You can search that on Google, but it'll probably give you 20 sites that are telling you so many different things. But if you ask on ChatGPT and it'll give you details and percentages around who are the people living within Medellin, Colombia, how many sort of different languages are here. Like, it'll give you so much more detail pointed to what you need to be researching and finding. So lastly, one of the last things I did, I also started a channel. It was on Facebook when I was younger, when Facebook just started, and I used internet as a means to make money by connecting with more people and offering different services as well. Some of you can just start a YouTube channel and just bring your value there as a young kid, whatever it is you want to do, whether it's education, entertainment, any of those things, sharing your experiences. So I would highly encourage that. But this is my last tip of this video. Remember, save your money. When you make it, save it. I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer. Live broke. live broke. Forget trying to get the best of the best in all things, because it's going to leave you broke. And those who have some of the nicest things are the ones who are the brokest. Because I've been through that, I've done that. But when you can live frugal, and I have a video on frugal that I did on frugalness and living, in a way that is very, what do they call it? Simplistic living. So save your money, multiply your money, find ways to reinvest it into other things. So if you have the job where you're multiplying tips, go get the lawnmower job, and on the side of that job, go to school with your book bag full of candy. Find ways to take from what you're making in A and put it into B, and multiply it and make a C, and then open up the C, and then turn it all to where you have an engine of things generating you money and eventually wealth as you learn the principles around it and the know-how. The next thing, and spend time making extra money to give. Be generous, be kind, find things to give to. Give to your church, give to your community and the people around you. Sow seeds into those who don't have, and always allocate a budget. Make bags for the homeless to give away. Tell people in your business can fuel the actual ministry side by saying, hey, while I'm here at school serving and selling here, I'm taking a percentage of it and I'm putting it into the homeless community, or I'm putting it into the boys and girls home there, or I'm helping in this way or that way. So I just want to encourage you guys, hey, young crowd, listen, there's so much opportunity. Opportunity is at an all-time high. You are needed right now wherever you are, and find ways to invest the best you can into the things that matter most. And I want to point you all to the Bible. The Bible is super clear on what matters most. It says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. All right, guys, peace. Hey, rate, subscribe, and review too, by the way. Like this, and write in the comments another video you would like to see in the near future.